It's me, Jen, your pudgy picker. Got a week number 8 results. We're going to talk a little longer today because we got a few issues we need to discuss. But I'm outside my neighbor's yard. They just moved out and the grass is literally over a foot tall. And I don't know if you can hear, but there's like crickets and night bugs making sound because the lawn is so deep they think it's nighttime, evidently. And then what else? So I got a lot done. My yard looks nice. So we'll talk about my busy day afterwards. If you're just here for the numbers, let's do this. So this weigh-in is for week 8, which covers dates 8/28, August 28th through September 3rd. Can you believe it's September already? I'm just amazed at how fast this year has gone. My starting weight this week was 238 even pounds. My ending weight was 237 even for a loss of 1 pound, which is great. Fine, wonderful, awesome. My overall starting weight from July 1st, you guys gonna say it with me because we've said it so many times, was July 1st, 264.4, making my total weight loss 27.4 pounds. Can you believe it is literally almost 30 pounds? It's crazy. So that's why, another reason, since I did so well, that's another reason this week was so difficult. So let's jump into how did the week go. Food. I wasn't eating much. We're going to get to that. One night my husband decided he was in the mood for pizza, and it was a night we were going to order out anyway. We have, it brought in, and pizza and wings showed up, and I was like, oh. So I had 2 pieces of pizza. I didn't eat much that day because I wasn't feeling so well, but the pizza sounded good for some reason. We do a lot of our own pizzas. We get the thin crust, then we put all our own junk on it. But yes. So now a lot of people say, well, if you order from somewhere and they don't have like a nutrition guide, how do you know how many calories? You know what? I'm going to tell you, I guess sometimes. And I'm successful, so that must be working. So what I will do is I will look, like the pizza I just typed in, it had sausage on it. Sausage and cheese, the regular stuff. But it was a sausage pizza, and the crust wasn't real thin, thankfully. And did sausage pizza slice nutrition. And then I just looked around and I averaged, or I go a little high. That's what I do. I know sometimes you can be doing this and you can be like, well, I can't find it. No, it doesn't matter. Now I like the whole pizza. I used to be more extreme that way. Like, you eat one cookie, you might as well just eat the entire bag. And I'm trying to stay away from that, not exaggerated thinking, all or nothing feeling. Because in my regular life, in my ordinary reseller and mom and wife and all that stuff, I am an extremist. I'm an extremist in all ways, and I'm very all or nothing, and I'm really trying with this weight loss journey to kind of iron that expectation out, because nothing's ever perfect. Oh my gosh, the bug stopped making a noise for a second. It's like quiet. Whew, it's making my ears ring. So I had 2 pieces of pizza earlier in the day. I think I had my protein shake. I had some fruit, and that's about all I had. So if you're going to make that decision, or you're, oh man, I'm just really in the mood for A, B, or C, it's okay to eat it. Just count it. Just count it. I also had a little bit of cheesecake this morning. We had some family over, and we cooked here, and they wanted to order dessert, so they decided on cheesecake. So I had a little bit of it, but it was from, I think, was it Cheesecake Factory, or was it from somewhere else? I don't remember now, but it was one of those. I looked it up, and the slice of cheese, plain vanilla bean cheesecake, was like 1,200 calories, so I had a 1/4 of it. And the rest I scooped messily into a bag and put it in the freezer. So, yeah. Side effects. Side effects were really bad this week. Nauseous, big time. I'm taking like a motion sickness. And I told you about it last week. I'm like, hey, if it's working, I'll let you know. Not going to let you know because it didn't work. I know some people take Dramamine. I mean, I might ask the doctor for an anti-nausea medication. But again, I don't want to be nauseous, but I don't want it to ping me to the other side and then I'm hungry. Oh, I tell you. It's just so much mental gymnastics on some of this stuff. It's just like, well, I could do this, but then this, and then this will happen, and then maybe that, and oh, I could this, and it's like, it's exhausting. It's very exhausting. So, nauseous, gas, burps, the weird sounding ones that are sulfur, or they call them rotten egg burps. That's what we called them when I was a kid. I had that issue. That was really bad. See, I take my shot on Tuesday. Wednesday, I was a little nauseous. Thursday, I was not well off at all. At all. I had some crackers. So Thursday, I wasn't hungry at all. I had some crackers. Some pineapple I had bought and cut up. And I get the frozen fruit bars. I can't remember what brand they are, but they're like 60 to 70 calories. You know, better than just sugar color water. So, it's nice to have that, especially when I wasn't feeling hungry. That day, I literally ate like 650 calories, and I know that's not good, and I know that's not what we should be doing, but I felt so close to actually Ralphing that I was like, I just can't. So, Monday, let's see, so it's Thursday, Friday, Monday, I ate very little, again, very nauseous, so, not good. So, the way it works is you take the shot. I take it on Tuesday. Tuesday, I'm good. I get a little tired later in the evening if I take it early. And then Wednesday, bad. Thursday, the worst day of the week. Friday, I'm coming out of it. I'm feeling a little better. Saturday, I'm almost feeling back to normal. I'm eating decently. Sunday, it's a walk in the park. And then Monday's pretty good too. So that's big. This is what it looks like every week for the past like 3 weeks. So I'll get to that again because we're not going to do this anymore. I mean the nauseous and all that. So I did reach out to the provider, and I keep going back in because it almost looks like text messages, but it's not. It's through their system. But I ended up messaging her. Didn't hear anything. Messaged her again. Please, this is the second, message. I need some answers. I need some direction. I'm not like deathly ill, but I am not having any fun. So when I went back in and checked the message system again, there was no message back, but there is an appointment with her that I hadn't made a week from today. So I was like, okay, I guess that's my answer. So that's when I will be seeing her. So I'm trying to think of what time it is. I'm later in the evening tonight. It's like 6 or a little after. Today was a crazy day. I'll talk about that at the end. Let's get through the rest of the medicine stuff. Mood was difficult on the days that I don't feel good. When you don't feel good, it's hard to be pleasant. It's hard to find enjoyment in something. It's you don't want to go anywhere because you're like, I just feel like I'm on the verge of bleh. And who wants to go anywhere? Because if you're somewhere, your first worry is like, OMG, what am I going to do? Where am I going to do this? And then I think that stress of being out and worrying about that makes it worse. So I'm just like, no, don't sign me up. I can honestly say I have not actually thrown up at all on this, which, you know, when you're really sick, that's not necessarily a good thing, because at least if you get sick to that point, afterwards, right afterwards, you're like, this is the best I've felt in my entire life, you know? But, so I don't know, being nauseous for hours or going through a horrible retching, and then you're good until you're not good. Exercise, today I did yard work, 3 hours. I haven't mowed the grass or done any yard work in literally 3 weeks because it hasn't been growing. And this was before, remember I told you the trees, we had neighbor tree here, neighbor tree on the other side had fallen, and a lot of hers was laying on my lawn. So I'm like, well, you know, we didn't get much rain and it's not very tall, I'm not going to worry about it. So it's been literally like 3 weeks since that happened. Okay, so that is my week 8 update. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not advocating, there's no kickback, I am not, you know, I am not soliciting anybody to join it. I don't get a discount, I don't get anything for mentioning it. So I want you to understand that this is serious medicine. This week was very, very difficult, and my husband and I had a couple deep discussions about it. He's like, I want to support you, I want to help you, what can I do? And I'm like, nothing. So after 2.5 days of that, he's like, are you just gonna keep doing this? Because I mean, I feel bad, and I know you, because I always say, well, I'm getting stuff done, and you know, he's like, calm down, this isn't a job interview, it's, you know, I care about you, I'm concerned about you, and you know, I hate to see you suffering like this. What are you gonna, you know, are you just gonna keep going? Are you gonna change? Or you know what? So I told him, I said, yeah, okay, I messaged her twice, got that. When I first started semaglutide, I was very nervous about taking even the lowest dose. And I don't know why. I just, you know, you hear so many horror stories, and then other people are like, I've been on it for 17 years and I've never had a problem. You know, that's an extreme. But, I mean, you get people on other sides, and then people are like, well, how am I going to feel? How am I going to feel? And it's like, I don't know how you're going to feel. I didn't know how I was going to feel. So part of me was like, you know, it was at 0.25 ml, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to come in a little under that. And I was losing, and I was feeling pretty good. I would have a little bit of, I'm a little nauseous. No, it's good. Okay, we're good. You know, that kind of thing. So I was having very little side effects. So I went this way. In the meantime, I didn't really talk, and this is my own fault. I'm just going to fall on the sword and say it. I didn't really tell the doctor I was doing that. I didn't really see the harm in not saying anything. Now I look at it and I go, well, that was kind of stupid. But I don't know. I just felt strongly that I just didn't want to take that you know, full 0.25. And then there's other people that are like, oh, I was on that for 4 weeks, and then I went up, and then I went up, and then I went up, and hey, I'm going to go up again. Do you think I should go up? You know, so I haven't had that, oh my goodness, let's rush through this, and let's take more, and let's keep going up. And, you know, because I knew I didn't have many side effects. And then when I spoke to her, she's like, do you think about moving up? And I said, no. And then at that point, this was like 3 weeks ago. So first month I did the lower. And then when I talked to her, I said, no, let's stay where we are. And then I went ahead and took the 0.25. And I've done that for, I think, 3 weeks now. And then that's when all this stuff kind of blew up at me. So it was, you know, I was like, wow. If I would have started feeling like this from day one, I don't know how far I would have got with this. Because then I would be like, well, if that's the lowest dose and I can't take it, then I guess I'm not going to do this. And now that I had taken the 0.25 for that first month, I'm like, was having success, was not having cravings. The food noise in my brain was quieted down, very low to none side effects. And I'm like, after I reached out to the doctor, I'm like, well, let's see what she says. And then it's a week from Tuesday. So I had to take my shot today. And I'm like, you know, at this point, I'm going to go back to the half. of 0.25. So that's what I did today. And I also knew I had things to do around my house, and I hadn't felt well. And I am the kind of person, and if you've watched me for any length of time, you know this, that I'm like, oh, I gotta move that boulder. Here, let me pick that boulder up. Oh, that needs to be done. Okay, let me work on that for 5 hours. I'm a very driven person. And I know it kind of might seem hard to believe that. I don't know. A lot of people look at heavier people and don't think that they're driven and successful. And you know what I mean? I mean, I get it. So to not be able to do that and to literally in my mind, because it only bothers me. It doesn't bother my husband. You know, the house needs to be clean. Oh, the yard's it's starting to rain. It's starting to grow. You know, oh boy, this and that. So it's a lot of pressure I put on myself because I do a lot physically here at my home. My husband's health isn't the greatest, and that's how it is. And this man has tried everything I could have somebody do the yard. They're putting a new roof on, so if you hear that, it's not gunfire. We're good. So, where was I? Focus, Jenny. I just totally blocked out what I was thinking. So anyway, I took the half of the 0.25 today. Oh yeah, I waited till later in the day because I know I'm like, oh hey, let's take the next shot, you know. And there was a part of me that was when I start having these effects, I'm like, yeah, it bothers me that I don't get things done, and I'm like I taught today. I have to mow the grass. The grass has to get mowed. It has to be done. Yeah, I was talking about the lawn. My husband's like, well, maybe I could just have somebody do it. I'm like, no, I like it done a certain way. So, you know, it's that mentality of, oh, I'm so overworked. I need help. Oh, you want to do this? No, I want to do it. Oh, you're going to do that? No, I do it better. So I'm my own worst enemy on that. So I knew I had to take the shot later because I'm like, you know, and the first thing in the morning, I was like, let's do this and we'll do my shot. And today I was like, nope. So today I got up early. I was up about an hour and a half. I went to a local, there's several places I can go. There's a hospital where I got my blood drawn. My doctor, I'm seeing her a week and 2 days, a week from Thursday. And instead of coming in and then saying, okay, here's the thing, go get your blood drawn. If you know anything looks odd or anything, I'll just send you something in the mail. And what they do now is they say, we'll send the requisition to, you know, wherever you want to do in our hospital system. And a week before, at, you know, minimum, you know, a week, go ahead and go get your blood drawn. You know, the requisition, it's not one of these papers you're like, oh, I have it, and then you get there and, oh, I don't have it. And so it was in the system. So I called this morning and I said, just want to make sure it's there. And my doctor's like, oh yeah, it's there, go ahead. So I went and got my blood drawn this morning. You really need to be up at least an hour and a half, 2 hours from, okay, I am awake, I'm getting out of bed, to actually getting your blood drawn, because as soon as you wake up, you have a surge of, you know, insulin and sugar and everything's waking up to get you started for the day. So you got to wait, you know, if you wait 2 hours, then that kind of drops to where it's normal. If you want to use that, you can. But that's what I do. So got up at like 8. It was like 9:30, quarter to 10 by the time I was there. I got my blood drawn. They also did a pee sample, which is weird. I always do that at my regular doctors. Whatever, that's neither here nor there, because this is a checkup coming up, my once a year, where they give me the requisition for a mammogram, and, you know, they go over everything and, you know, all that stuff. So it's just a basic checkup. Now, I have not spoken to my doctor about me taking the medication, this semaglutide, yet. So, the last time I spoke to her was exactly, almost to the day, a year ago. Remember when I said, hey, you know, I'm in tears, I'm upset, I need to tackle this, I want to tackle this. This is one big thing left in my life that I'm like, I just need to hammer this nail down. So, and she's like, well, I could check and see if your insurance covers it. It doesn't. And she also said, now the neighbor's going to start mowing its grass. we're just going to finish this. So she's like, well, I said, okay, how much is it without insurance? Almost $1,000. And now that I know more information and there's more options, what that is for, and this is going to be my own personal opinion, right, wrong, or indifferent, that when you ask the doctor that and they're like, okay, let's look it up, those are the pre-filled pens. It is definitely cheaper to do the syringe and the vial, which is what I do through Mochi Health. So I think that's one of the reasons it's a big cost thing. And I think now that Ozempic and Wegovy and these other semaglutide shots, and one is a pill, that this has gotten so popular, is now they're manufacturing more. A lot of these pharmacies that you have a nutritionist, you have a doctor, you do this FaceTime call, and then they prescribe the medication. There's a lot of places doing it. You really have to shop around. I am very happy with Mochi. They recently lowered the price. Very surprising. So I guess all in all is that I'm like, I'm gonna dig around. I'm gonna keep researching it. Wasn't really finding anything. And then when these places started popping up on Facebook advertising, and I started doing research and, you know, getting into all that and understanding it, and then shopping around, what's the best price, what is this one has a nutritionist, that one doesn't, you know, kind of figuring all that out, I landed on going with Mochi. So, and then I thought, as soon as this happened, I'm like, you know what, I'm seeing her in September, that'll give me a couple of months to be on the medication, and then I can go in and say, okay, here's where I'm at, here's where I started, you know, let's talk about it. Because she was not opposed to me taking the medication, but her hands were tied. So, I mean, when you go through your doctor, your physical doctor, I mean, there's a different price chart than there is other places. And I think when people talk about, oh my gosh, and these people are just going online and just typing away and getting this medication, and you should have your own doctor do that. I tried that. And the only thing that was standing in the way, and the only thing that didn't work out, is cost. So if my doctor was like, yeah, but oh, that's pretty expensive, and you know, just to leave there so feeling so defeated, like, you know, this is 2024, 2023 back then, but it's like crying out loud. I mean, we can literally transport organs, not transport. I mean, we can reverse disease. There's strides in all this medication, and I can't lose some effing weight with a medication, that there's going to be something that's going to stand in my way. And so that's why I ended up going with Mochi. Now, you know, if I talk to my doctor and she's all like, oh, wow, that's great, and you should continue on it, but I really rather you get it to, you know, get it from me. She wouldn't say that, but I'll be like, you know what? You sell it to me for this price that Mochi's offering, then we'll talk. So I think she's going to be fine with it. I've only had this doctor like 2 years. My previous doctor I had had since I was 18, saw me through 2 pregnancies and years and years and years of him being my doctor. He retired. How dare he retire? So I've only been dealing with this doctor because it's a family practice. So they brought in another doctor to take up that slack and said, you know, we'll just put you with her. So I don't know her real well. My previous doctor, I could tell you what I could ask him and what he would say. He was just such an awesome doctor. And, you know, he saw my mom and my dad and my sister and me and my daughter and my son since they were born, literally since they were born. So there was a part of me that was like, you know, man, I wish I could have seen this journey through with him. I know he'd be proud of how I'm doing. He was such a great, awesome human being and a doctor. So I really don't have a good fix on, you know, well, I think she'll think this way, or my doctor might think that way. And it's like, you know, I don't know. I just don't have that much of a feel for it. But in talking last September and, you know, the cost issue and all that, and she seemed on board with it. So I'm anticipating her being fine with it. It will be interesting to see my numbers. I've been going to that same, you know, practice for many years. and I can bring up my patient portal. And then I'm one of those nerds that likes to, oh, there's 17 different pages of, you know, all these numbers and things I don't know. I would literally sit and Google things because they, you know, my doctor would go through and go, that's a little high. The rest of these are fine, but I want to know. And since I have previous, you know, that readout, guys, I have that previous readout, it's easy for me to just side by side last year and this year. So I am looking forward to that. It'll be interesting to see what my numbers have done. Doing this for not just 1 month, but 2, a little over 2 by the time I see her next week. I'm very interested to see what this is going to look like and what numbers have moved around. My numbers have been pretty good for a while. I was pre-diabetic several years ago and worked on that a little bit. Wasn't losing enough weight, you know, to get too far away from that. But, I mean, we're going to have to wrap up. So my cholesterol, my blood pressure, all that stuff was good. So that's where we're at. Taking a half dose. I'm going to be speaking to the doctor a week from today. I'm going to speak with my primary doctor, physical doctor in my area, a week from Thursday. So yeah, so next week I'll be able to tell you what the doctor told me. I just hope that they're not, I just don't know why they wouldn't, but there's part of me that's like, man, are you just gonna say, well, you know, you're not even on the barest minimum, so we can't prescribe that. So, but I don't know. I mean, it varies so widely when people get, you know, different side effects. It's just crazy. There's really no sense of it. Sometimes you look at it and you go, oh, okay, well, that seems to be the trend. No, this is just like you toss a coin in the air and let's see where it lands. And but I'm very happy that I've had such success in 8 weeks, and I don't see why the doctor would tell me that she can't prescribe that. Now, for some reason, their organization, Mochi Health, cannot do that. I may just continue on with the 0.25 and just give myself the lower dose. I mean, that may be where we're at, because I cannot take it at 0.25, and I want to continue losing and being successful on this. I've come pretty far, and I'm very happy with how I'm doing. I'm not even quite halfway to where I need to be, but this is working, and I can make it work at that lower dose. So that's where we're at. So please give me a comment down below if you have or haven't, or you did, or now you don't. You know, when did you show symptoms? Did you, because a lot of people get it right away, and then they're like, tap out, I'm done, I can't do this. And I get that. Because if that would have happened with me right away, I would have been like, oh my God, I can't do this. This isn't going to work. Because right now, taking 0.25 is affecting me to the point where my quality of life has gone down. So, I mean, you know, am I going to just be a little fatter, but I have energy and I'm out and I'm doing and all that? Or, you know, I don't know. You know, if you've ever tried to lose weight, or you ever know anybody that's tried to lose weight, there's a constant running in your brain. I'm going to eat this. Should I eat this? Maybe I'll eat that. What about tomorrow? Oh, what's my numbers? How much have I had? Should I write this down? I feel full. Did I eat too much? It's like, that is just, it makes you crazy. It makes you crazy. So I'm going to wrap it up here, but I will tell you, if you are interested in taking this medication and you would like a code to get $40 off to start, email me. My email's down in the description box below. I don't want to leave it on here. I don't want to look like I'm e-begging, or I'm like, hey, do this and mine will be cheaper. Because you get 40, I get 40, and it's good for everybody. So if for some reason you're like, yeah, I think I might want that, it's fine. Send me an email. I'll send it back to you, and you can go on your way and see. But again, I just don't want to have, you know, all this mochi crap, you know, flashing on the screen. You know, it's like, you know, it's getting the job done. You know, I wished she could have messaged me back, you know, so I'm not entirely like everything's perfect with mochi, but I am very happy with how I've been treated and taken care of, and it'll be interesting next week. Next week I'll see. Maybe I'll feel differently. But again, thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. We will be shorter, maybe a little shorter, you know, next time, you know, other than my, you know, my doctor visit. So we'll see how that goes. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're still here after 30 minutes, holy cow. So thank you again. I will see you next time.